All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. And the elect begins with the 144,000. YAHAWAH, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jehovah. BAHASHAM is in the name. YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The Rakakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit. I'm the brother YAHAWAH with the GMS Chicago camp out here in Chicago. Come back at you with another lesson. And Lord willing, I hope this lesson be edifying to the hopeful righteous elect, the ones of the household of faith. Once again, I hope this lesson is edifying. I'm just simply entitled this lesson, our salvation out of the land of America will eclipse, the salvation out of the land of Egypt. I'm going to shorten that title, but ultimately, the deliverance out of America is going to eclipse, the deliverance out of Egypt, man. Because what? The Lord is showing us what? Mighty signs. And what? We're ultimately going to be delivered by what the world ignorantly calls UFOs, the chariots of YAHAWASHI. So the things that we're seeing right now, man, the different plagues that ultimately, the Lord smote Egypt with. But the deliverance we're going to get on this side, man, starting with the elect, man, hey, it's going to eclipse that of Egypt. So let's get into it. This is the book of Jeremiah 16 and 14, Salakia. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord YAHAWAH, that it shall no more be said, the Lord YAHAWAH liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, right? The first captivity of the Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. We were held captive. We were under, servitude under the Hamites, man. The Egyptians. It says, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, right over here in America, where the majority of our people, are at. It says, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Right, because this deliverance is going to eclipse that of the land of Egypt, man. And we know what happened during what? During the time of what? Moses. How ultimately YAHAWAH used Moses, to show his power, man. What ended up happening, man? The rivers turned into blood, frogs, hail. But those different plagues that ultimately smote Egypt, the different plagues that's going to smite America all the way up into our deliverance, man, it's going to be on the whole, another level, man. And we're seeing those different plagues that the Lord is smiting this place with, man. Famines, pestilences that you can read throughout the scriptures, man. And ultimately what? It's a lot of chariot sightings also. Ultimately, we're going to be delivered by the way of the chariots. We walked out of Egypt, but we're going to be delivered by the way of the chariots, man. Read that last part again. Jeremiah 16 and 15. It says, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Right? How ultimately we're going to go back to our homeland, man, by the way of the chariots, man. And it's going to eclipse that of the land of Egypt. We walked out the land of Egypt, because ultimately when Pharaoh pursued us, to come after us, ultimately what? The Lord closed up the Red Sea and they end up drowning, man. But how the way the Lord is going to destroy our enemies this time around is by the way of those nukes, man. The Lord is going to make a complete, desolation of America, man, by the way of those nukes, which is that ultimate plague, man. But let's actually get this. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 15. I'm going to start at 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And right, that Egypt is talking about America, man. This place being what? Because if you read Revelations, the 11th chapter, it talks about this place being spiritually what? Sodom and Egypt. So what? This is the place of our captivity today, man. We're under the hands of the so-called white man, the Edomites, which are the spiritual Egyptians today. We're found in their hands. So what? America is what? That spiritual Egypt, man. And it says, verse 11, it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretch out arm, and smite Egypt with the plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Right? If you go back into the book of Exodus, you can read about the different, the different plagues that ultimately YAHAWAH smote the land of Egypt with. And he used, ultimately, he showed his power through Moses. But ultimately what? The frogs, the hail, the flies, and that's small compared to what the Lord is going to smite this place, America, with, man. The Lord is going to what? Bring it up to another level, man. And it says, verse 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. And we know that ultimate plague is gonna be those thermonuclear missiles, man. You know, because it talks about that in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, with this place being, destroyed in 1 hour, man. Even Malachi 4 says, what? The day cometh, thou shalt burn as an oven. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, man. And us of the hopeful righteous elect, man, we're going to be delivered by the way of the chariots. 144, call Halami, YAHAWASHI. Didn't even realize that. But just to continue on with the lesson, because just best believe, ultimately when this place America get destroyed, man, and ultimately what? It's going to be talked about how the Lord ultimately delivered, the Israelites out of the land of America, and it's going to far, eclipse that of the land of Egypt, man. Because ultimately, during the time of Joshua, ultimately when the two spies went into to spy out the land, ultimately what? Rehab the harlot was talking about the mighty works that ultimately Yahweh did to bring, the children of Israel out the land of Egypt. Let's actually get that account real quick. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 2 and verse 1. I'm going to just read through it. It says, and Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are enter into thine house, for they become to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said, thus there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flocks. It says, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursue after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursue after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto them, I know that Yahweh have given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. And why is that, man? Because what? The other nations round about, basically heard what happened in Egypt. How the Lord ultimately smote Egypt with the plagues. You can read the different, about the different plagues in the book of Exodus, man. Ultimately what? That final plague, the Lord, smiting the firstborns, of the Egyptians. What was that during the Passover, man? And ultimately what? The Lord ultimately opened up the Red Sea. And what? We walked, in between the Red Sea, man. The Lord parted the Red Sea. And ultimately when the Pharaoh pursued us, ultimately what? The Lord drowned Pharaoh and his armies. It says, verse 10, and here's the point. It says, for we have heard now the Lord Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea, for ye when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan. It says, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And right, and this was through the power of YAHAWASHI, man. Yahweh, doing those mighty works in Egypt on the nation of Israel's behalf, man. But this time around, when the Lord delivers, us, it's only going to be the elect, man, compared to the whole nation that walked out the land of Egypt, and how ultimately we're going to be delivered by the way of those chariots, man, This is the book of Baruch 4:31. It says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Right, because this is not the only time, us being a captivity, we have been afflicted by our enemies, man. Everybody had us under captivity, under their foot, man. The so-called white man, the Hamites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Ishmaelites. Everybody had, a role of bringing us down, man. And every time the Lord delivered us out these different lands, man, the Lord end up judging these different nations. So it says what? Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Right, miserable are they. Who are we in the hand of today, man? The so-called white man, the Edomites, you know? And what is we're seeing happening right now? What the Lord is putting the curses upon our enemies, man. The Lord is breaking his kingdom down brick by brick. We're seeing that right now, man. You know, just how the Lord ultimately broke down Egypt, the Lord is breaking down America, man. Verse 32, it says, miserable are the cities which thy children served. It says, miserable is she that received thy sons. Right, that she talking about America, man. You know, the Lord is basically what? Breaking this place, you know, down bit by bit. And the ultimate plague is going to be what? Those thermonuclear missiles. It says, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Right, going back into Egypt. What happened to Egypt, man? We were under the hands of the Egyptians, and over time, what? The Lord ended up breaking that place down. The different plagues the Lord smote that place with. Hey, no different than America, but the only difference is going to be what? The plagues that hit this place is going to be on another level. It says, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Right, because ultimately what? You know, these Edomites, you know, hey, America, you know, ultimately destroyed our people, man. But ultimately what? The Lord is going to destroy this place with those nuclear missiles, man. You know? And that's that ultimate plague, you know, that you can read about, that lake of fire, which you can read about in the book of Revelations. Verse 33 says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Right, because the Lord is coming back to destroy this place, man. You know? And the elect is going to have a front row seat and seeing the destruction and downfall of America, man. You know? What's that fire, that glass mingled with fire? You know, we're going to be looking down, you know, from the chariot at this place being on fire, man. You know? And that's that ultimate plague that the Lord is going to smite this place with, man. You know? Let's get one more scripture. Because this is how ultimately we're going to be delivered, man. You know, this deliverance is going to be on a whole new level. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Right, we're standing in great boldness, man. We're teaching this word. You know what? Esau Edom can do nothing about it, man. You know? It says, before the face of such have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Right, you know, we basically built up this country, man, and Esau Edom took no account of that, man. You know? It says, verse 2, it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. What's going to be so strange about our salvation, man? We're going to be being beamed up in those so-called UFOs, man. Which, you know, in the scriptures, they're called chariots, you know, but the world called them, you know, so-called UFOs, but in the scriptures, they're called chariots, you know, because even in, what's that, 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, it says, in a twinkling of an eye, we shall be changed, man. You know, as we're getting beamed up, we're going to be changed also, man. And it's going to be strange to the rest of the, everybody that's watching, man. Us, you know, of the hopeful right select getting beamed up. Lord, what would be of that number? It says, verse 3, it says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. Right, everybody that talks shit towards us, man, everybody that belittled us, man, you know, because what? It talks about, you know, in Lamentations, you know, all, you know, them clap their hands at thee, you know, saying, is this the, ultimately, you know, loosely parented daughter of, let me just grab it real quick. I hate, you know, butchering scriptures. Salakia, bear with me. Let's grab that Lamentations 2:15. This is the book of Lamentations 2:15. It says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men called the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right, because what? We were destroyed to the point that what? Our people was out here, you know, it's what? And essentially it's in a low state, man. You know, the lowest we have ever been. And our enemies, what? Is basically making fun of us being in that lower state, man. You know, they're mocking us, you know, things of that nature. It says, verse 16, it says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Suddenly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. Right. So these other nations are basically proud and happy that our people is in this lower state, man. But ultimately, what? We're in a time right now where the Lord You know, we're essentially on the cusp of our salvation, man. You know, even Romans 13 says, you know, our salvation is nearer than we believed, you know. But let's go back to that wisdom of Solomon to finish that point in verse 3. Wisdom of Solomon 5:3, it says, they repenting and groaning of anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. Exactly right, man. They're going to find out that what? They end up touching the apple of the Lord's eye, man. You know? And what? Ultimately, this is the deliverance that's about to come, man. It's going to eclipse that of Egypt, man. We're going to be delivered by the chariots, because even Matthew 24:30 says that. And it's going to be for the whole world to see, man. This is the book of Matthew 24:30. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, because what? The Lord YAHAWAH is going to send his son YAHAWASHI back to judge these people. And they shall see the Son of Man, who is YAHAWASHI, coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right? Because ultimately what? You know, YAHAWASHI is going to come back in that fathership, man. It says, verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the one end of the heaven to the other. And right, and how we're going to be delivered, man? By the way of the chariots, man. You know, what the world ignorantly calls UFOs. You know, that's going to be our deliverance, man. You know, and it's going to be for the whole world to see, man. You know, the whole world is going to see the elect of the nation of Israel get beamed up into those chariots, man. You know, and that's going to eclipse that of the land of Egypt, man. You know, the plagues that hit Egypt, man, is small compared to the plagues that's hitting America, and that's really going to hit America as we approach the end of this man's society. So just something I just wanted to jump into. Lord, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to end up by giving all praise, honor, glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. Lord, I hope this lesson was edifying. Till next time, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom, and Abba Babal.